you had some comments this week where you were pretty critical of the strike.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm supportive of the strike, or else I'd be working, because trust me, the door is open for my network. I could absolutely do a show without writers. But yeah, I'm obviously understanding about what their gripes are, and they have legitimate gripes. Part of the problem I have is that everything in this country becomes a proxy war for our larger politics. And that's true of the strike also. So there's only one side you hear. And not to toot my own horn, but without my show on, you never hear, certainly liberal people never hear the other side of anything. So there's lots of things to be said about this strike. And there are some things that they're demanding that, yes, I don't agree with. They want to micromanage the creative process in a way that I think is antithetical to anybody who is an artist. They want to tell people how many people, what kind of people you can have working on your show, writing your show. I mean, for years, we understood that standing over the creator and telling them how to do it, when the Suits were doing that, it was the worst thing in the world you could do, is creativity by committee. And now they want to mandate it. I don't understand why the governor of the state doesn't get involved. This is one of the state's main industries. Why doesn't he get them in a room together and say, look, you knuckleheads, this is going to get settled at one point. Now let's find the number right now and just do it. But that doesn't seem to be happening.
There was a story out today, Bill. I thought of you when I read this, that Harvard got the worst grade in America for universities that foster free speech. They said Harvard got a 0 and actually would have gotten a -10. Because they are intolerant about free speech. I'm sure you saw this, and I'm also sure you have thoughts on it.
This is one of the big problems I think we have in our country, is that everybody's in their media silos. So I'm glad that you're reporting a story like that, because the people who only watch liberal media probably will never hear about this. My complaint about Fox News for all those years, and still, is that they lie by omission. They just tell you this kind of story they want to hear, that they think their audience wants to hear. I mean, when Trump was president, he could have nuked Belgium, and Tucker Carlson would do an hour that night on the craziness that goes on college campuses. The problem is that craziness does go on college campuses, and on the liberal news outlets, they're not going to report that at all. So yeah, I'm not surprised about this report from Harvard. What goes on college campuses is crazy these days. And the younger people, they don't even think free speech is something that you should aspire to. They think their feelings are more important than free speech. These brats think that if somebody says something they don't agree with, it's violence. No, violence is when it hurts.
What is it going to take for the country to start moving away from that?
That's a great question. A great solution would be if news media would go back to being a lost leader. In other words, if they didn't think they had to make a profit doing it. Because as long as that's the motivation, these news outlets, they get ratings, and sometimes they go to, I guess often go to focus groups. And their audience, what they want to do is just make their audience turn the dial up like that. Oh, yes, I like that. I already believe that. That reinforces what I already think. And, oh, you said something that challenges me? Ooh, boo, dial down. And as long as that's what's going on, I mean, as long as they're in the audience stroking business, it's not going to get better.